Hi guys, and welcome to part 62 of Skyrim Mod Sanctuary. Now, if you can cast your mind back to just after Dawnguard, I did a couple of videos centered around vampires. All the mods I covered were for vampires and for vampire lords, and a number of people were a little disappointed that I didn't cover werewolves. Now, the only reason I didn't actually cover werewolves was because I wasn't playing a werewolf character. And I did promise that as soon as I started to play one, I would cover a lot of mods basically focused on that type of character. Well, now I have done just that. I have a werewolf character, I have tried a lot of werewolf mods, and I am ready to show them to you. Now, it's going to take at least 2 videos to show you all the mods I'd like to show you, and perhaps even 3. So, the first mod I'm going to show you is called Heart of the Beast, Werewolf Sound and Texture Overhaul. And this mod is an essential mod for me. If you're playing a werewolf, you really should have this mod installed. Now, there are a number of enhancements that come with this mod, but the sound enhancements alone make it worth installing. If you think that the werewolf sounds in the vanilla Skyrim are a little disappointing, this mod is going to change that. It actually comes with 3 different versions of the werewolf sounds, each getting progressively more terrifying. Take, for example, the werewolf roar. Now, the vanilla roar is, well, it's a little disappointing. It doesn't have any depth to it. Just listen. Now listen to the first option. This is the werewolf sound option, the low aggression sound. Even this one has far more depth. It has a sort of guttural build-up, a slight snarl behind it, and a lot more aggression. And this is just the first step. Now listen to the feral werewolf sound. As you can hear, this sound is far more snarled. There's a lot more rage and aggression in this one. And now, the alpha werewolf. The alpha werewolf sound is even more aggressive. It sounds like the werewolf is straining with all its might. The end of the growl has this very hoarse sound, like there was nothing left. This was it. This was the loudest roar it could possibly get. The ultimate fury. And then there's the sound of the transformation itself. The vanilla one is all very dramatic until the end, when you do this fairly weak growl. But a werewolf should really howl after he's transformed. And even the breathing has been improved. The vanilla werewolf, he breathes pretty heavy, but it doesn't sound that dangerous. Whereas the alpha werewolf, well, even his breathing sounds like he's growling and snarling. And as for the combat sounds, well, let's just say, don't use the alpha werewolf version of this mod if you are squeamish. All in all, these sounds really add to the werewolf experience. They really help you feel the beast within. This mod also adds texture replacers, and you've got 3 choices. There is a brown werewolf with yellow eyes, a sort of more grey werewolf with green eyes, and a black werewolf with red eyes. Now, the eyes are actually probably the most impressive thing about this retexture job, because the vanilla werewolf eyes are a little bland. They're very dull, they don't seem to point forward, and they're not that terrifying. This mod changes that, so the eyes are very bright, they are very focused, they do look very directly forward, and they look a lot more intelligent actually, and a lot more intimidating. And there is even a glowing eyes mesh that you can have, and the eyes will glow. In fact, in the dark, you can quite clearly see these eyes glowing. And there is actually an alternative model that gives you what looks like a wider head. It's called the Howling model, so I'm guessing it's the werewolf from the Howling movie. For me, the sounds are the most important part of this mod, but the eyes, they are good. They're definitely worth installing. Even though you probably rarely look at your own werewolf's eyes, perhaps you'll meet other werewolves. And there is actually an automatic variants pack for this, so you can have lots of different werewolf textures, including these, and the werewolves you meet will have a variety of textures. And if all that was not enough, this mod also lets you boost the speed of your werewolf. There is absolutely no downside to this mod. There is nothing bad I can say about it. It is absolutely a must-have mod if you are playing a werewolf. Oh, and before I move on from this mod, it may be worth mentioning that the mod author in question is also a video maker, and he has a YouTube channel and has started a series of videos about werewolves called The Legend of Cain. I will provide links below. Now, the next mod I'm going to cover is Tales of Lycanthropy, and this is a mod that changes a couple of key things about being a werewolf. The first thing it changes is how you can become a werewolf. Now, you can still do the Companion's Quest and become a werewolf that way, or you can catch Lycanthropy from other werewolves that you meet in Skyrim. You can also give yourself Lycanthropy directly using a ring that gives you some settings options in your inventory. But the other, and what I would say is more important thing this mod does, is it adds forced transformations. That is, it will force you to become a werewolf depending on the moon. There is a random chance, depending on the phase of the moon, that you will be forced into beast form at 8 o'clock at night and will be forced to stay in that form until 5 in the morning. Now, the settings can be altered, but the default settings are pretty good. Don't worry, you will get messages from the game telling you what the moon's phase is. However, be warned, it is easy to miss the messages if they occur at inopportune moments.
For the last 200 years since the last Dragonborn Emperor, the Blades have been searching for a purpose.
What the hell's that sound?
Now that dragons are coming back, our purpose is clear again.
Okay.
We need to
Am I vomiting? Oh dear. Guys, don't look. Well, Delphine's taking this rather well, isn't she? Maybe she's okay about it. Oh. No, she's not okay. Delphine, it's me, Dragonborn. So as you can see, this mod definitely makes being a werewolf a little bit more challenging. You have to pay attention, you have to take precautions, and you have to treat your condition seriously. There is a beast within you, and every now and again it will come out and want to hunt. But it's not all downside, because of course, this transformation lasts until 5 AM. It will last the whole night, and you can get a lot done in beast form in a whole night. This mod definitely makes Lycanthropy feel more like a double-edged sword. It's a powerful weapon, but it's also a heavy burden. The beast within is always there, ready to come out. And that, for me, makes the werewolf experience a lot more intense. Now that's it for the werewolf mods in this video. I will have more in the next part of this series. If, however, you are still wanting to see more about Skyrim mods, feel free to check out my last Skyrim preview video, which was about a great mod, a player home that was mobile, and the mod was called Gypsy Caravan. I really did like this one, so check that video out if you want to see my preview of that mod. Installation of these mods is pretty simple, but there are quite a few files for the Heart of the Beast mod. If you go along to the file section on Nexus, you will see quite a lot of files. The first thing you're going to have to do is decide which of the sound files you prefer. I use the Alpha Werewolf sounds, the very vicious and aggressive one, and you just download with Manager and activate. You can actually try all three and see which you prefer. For the texture, you have the Alpha Werewolf, the Beta Werewolf, and the Omega Werewolf. You choose which one you prefer. The black one, the Alpha Werewolf, seems to be the most popular one. However, I really like the yellow eyes from the Beta Werewolf, so I've chosen that one. The retexture for the Omega Werewolf is very interesting, and I quite like the green eyes as well. But you have to decide which of those you want. Now, it is actually possible to choose different eye textures and, for example, have the black fur and the yellow eyes, but for that you would need to download the Alpha Werewolf texture and then this package, which is an optional package for the werewolf eye textures, which contains all of them. There is no Nexus Mod Manager way to install this. You're going to have to download it manually and figure it out yourself. I'm not going to show you in that. If you're uncomfortable with manual installation, I suggest you choose one of these pre-made packages and just install it with NMM. If you want the glowing eyes, you're going to need one of the mesh updates. If you like the default werewolf model, but you want the glowing eyes, choose the one that's Mesh Update Default Werewolf Model with Glow Maps. Download the Manager and activate. If you quite like the Howling Mesh, the one with the slightly wider head and large ears, choose that one instead, but just choose one of them. Activate it in Nexus Mod Manager. And if you want the speed upgrade, just download with the Manager on that file and activate in the Nexus Mod Manager. Now, there are a lot of options and a lot of files. And oh, yeah, there is an AV package if you want to combine this with automatic variants. I'm going to leave you to figure that one out yourself. I have done a video on how to install automatic variants textures. The Tales of Lycanthropy was a little simpler for me to install. I only installed one file, Tales of Lycanthropy Modular Core v15, download with Manager and activate. Now there is an SKSE file, and that adds functionality that I've not been using. The V key gives you night eye, and the B key cycles between the werewolf howls. I use another mod for night vision on my werewolf, so I've not really felt the need for that. The cycling between the werewolf howls could be interesting though. However, my werewolf at the moment has not got more than one howl. Perhaps when I progress a little bit, I will cover this side of the mod. So that is it for this video. I am going to end, as always, with some screenshots that you guys have been posting on my Nexus page. If you want to post images for me, feel free to do so. I will put the link below. I'm actually thinking of making a video showing you how to do this, just to make it a little easier. I hope you guys can join me for the next part of this series, where I will cover even more werewolf mods. But whatever video you decide to join me for next, I hope you guys have had fun watching this one, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And until then, as always, have fun.